Hello race fans, sim fans, RC fans, Racing 393. So we're pretty much done. Now this is the final video of the setup process of this side of my, I've got a practice session. I say a practice session. There's a meeting at Eastbourne RC Club, the indoor, I think it's Roberts Bridge Community College is where the indoor circuit is in Eastbourne for the 112 LMP and GT12 classes. They have a club meeting on tomorrow because I'm racing, I use that word loosely, but racing at the BRCA event next weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I've decided to take the opportunity to, one is go and find out where this is. I mean, I know the area reasonably well. I used to race down there at Eastbourne in Halsham anyway. Just on a side note there, Halsham has the outdoor RC track, which I didn't know. And it's not far from the stock car track where I used to spend most of my life. So it's a very small world, motorsport. Right, so we're kind of at the last knockings now. There's a lot of things I adjusted on this because it was wrong, basically, and I still think it's wrong, but nearer. Nevertheless, it's a lot nearer than it was. So I'm going to try and go over what I've done to the car briefly. It's not a check my spec type video. I won't be changing anything. I have got a question though, because you know, things you find out. I've took all the notes, so thank you everybody that's given me feedback and advice. Absolutely freaking amazing. I'm not even going to, how lightly that is. I'm absolutely chuffed to bits because I made a big long list of all the things that was recommended. It was funny, a lot of people, different people saying the same thing. So everybody, I can't name you all, but thank you very much, because at the end of the day, you can find the information on the internet. And ironically, there's a lot of information, if you like, on the Schumacher website. But you don't really know what you're looking for and what you're looking at. I mean, it's not until you start playing around with these things and then getting some feedback from people, you start to build up a knowledge base. I understand it now. How to get it accurate still baffles me. But I do like the technicalities of setup. Hence why you'll see in a minute, I've got it on my tweak station. It's a very basic tweak station, but nevertheless, I'm going to go through that in a minute. So, first and foremost, the car is as it's going to be run. I've taken the tyres down. Now, I do have some notes here. I've just got my own setup sheet. This, like I say, I know some of these are actually wrong, looking at sort of the combination of advice. So, for example, I've got the tyres each side pretty close to each other now. So, my front tyres, I took them down to about 40.2, 40.4, and I thought that, well, they said close, a lot closer than they were, but the stagger between front and rear is greater, too great. I mean, I've looked at setup sheets from people that race, team drivers, advice on YouTube. Yes, this bit is out. There's not a lot I can do about that. I'm done with doing the tyres this side of the weekend. But the rears are both fairly equal, 42.5, 42. Well, late 5, so an average of 42.6. There's a difference of over a mil. I mean, a lot of people have said about a mil difference in stagger. Yeah, that makes sense. It just, I'm not going to do that. I mean, I probably will take the rears down before the meeting just to make it so that it is closer. And that is going to adjust the ride height. We'll come to that in a minute. But that's those done. So they're pretty good. What else? So the ride height, front and rear, give or take. Actually, I did it at the corners here. So I did the ride height here at the front and the other side, and then I just did it at the rear. I did it at the back as well because you can get to that. But it sort of summarises. What did I put on there? Just trying to remember now and read my writing. 3.4 millimeters. That's again advised by many. I don't know how accurate my readings are, but to me it looks right. The other thing I was going to say, I always mention the subframe. Those that know, I do know it, I've heard of it, it's called the pod. That was very important, some information I did find out about the pod, which I overlooked. And another thing that is set, and I will say that's wrong, based on information that I've received and information I've read and downloaded. So I'm aware of that. Again, I'm not going to change it for now. I'll maybe get some advice at the track tomorrow about how to change it or what I need to do. Anyway, that was that. Ride height at the front. I did put some shims under there. I've taken them out. That's as it is. There was a video with the kingpin and the caster. Well, the caster's standard. I don't have any. I thought I did. There were some single shims that go under the front. So you want to, tilt. There's a bottom brace here, and it's got 4 fixing points. The other 2 you can't see, but if you put a shim under the front, a certain thickness shim, what is it? I think I read. Don't know. It could be 0.25, something like that. But if you tilt that bottom, this bit here, tilt it to the front's higher than the back, you also lay the kingpins back. So the kingpin inclination does allow for, I mean, I did read it, it will do better steering, but it also enables straight line stability. But I've left it standard. I don't know what it is. If I look through the wheels now, I can see the kingpins are back. 4 degrees seems to be the figure they all run. I don't know what the kit is standard, but it's standard. Now I'm going to move the camera a bit. So I'm holding the camera now. So down there, I'm not sure you can see this, there's a little T-piece there, which moves back and forth. I had that in the wrong place, but it's now where it should be to hold the LiPo battery towards the back, which allows a little bit more grip for the back of the car. And I guess it did say, it says on the Schumacher instruction manual, I can't remember which way it is now, I can't remember, but I did read one line, it's easier to drive with the battery towards the back. So again, that's where I'll start. Whether it's right or not, don't know. Now, the rear pod, I worked on droop and what they called it, I can't remember, is it called anti-squat? So the rear, I'm going to sort of lower this down. I don't know if you can see that. You can give your opinion on that if you can see it. I can't even see it where I'm stood, so I don't know how you're going to do it. But the rear pod needs to be, when it's set, level, and then you run. So when the back is slightly lower than the front, is that anti-squat? Do you know what? I'm going to have to check. Bear with. Back lower than the front is anti-squat. If it's the other way around, like the front is lower than the back, pro-squat. I've always understood that anti-squat is what you use in racing. I have heard of pro-squat before this, but as far as I'm aware, before I read it, no one really uses that. I could be wrong, but that's my understanding. So I have adjusted the rear bump spring. So I've adjusted, I've done 2 things here. The rear bump spring I have adjusted, and I've also changed the spring because it didn't have any droop. I believe the spring that I had in there wasn't stock. I can't remember how I built the car now. So I've added another spring. I don't know which one it is, but it is softer, a lot softer. So I'm hoping that'll work. Anti-squat says 4.3mm. I'm not sure what my anti-squat is. I did write it down. I will have to measure my anti-squat bit, but it's the difference between the 2 plates from ride height to just lift it up. So before the wheels actually remove themselves from the ground, I think it's got to be something like 4. It says on here, I think 4.3mm. So the anti-squat needs to be 4.3mm. I believe mine was about 4.1. The rear droop of 1mm. This is where it's wrong. I've got to work on this. I'm not sure how to do it. Mine's 1.6mm. I'm aware that's wrong. It's probably way too much. I will need to work on that. Everything else as per my other videos as it was. The battery is charged. It's not fully charged. I've no intentions of fully charging it. I'll give it a little blast hopefully tomorrow around the track. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to film that. I've got no way of holding the camera and filming. And to be honest with you, I won't be able to do both. The fact of driving the car around it, if I get a chance, will be enough. Now, that's pretty much everything that I've done. I'm just looking. I've got the rear, sort of the eccentric height hangers in the rear axle. I'm using 0.75. Because that got it as close to where the ride height should be. The axle, the rear axle is actually the width 171.2, that or 24 would be really accurate. That seems fairly close to what everyone says. Might be a little bit out. It has got spacers, which you can use. I don't think I have any more spacers. So I've got very limited amount of like spacers for adjusting things like that, but I do have others. For the front, I don't think I've got much for the rear. Is there anything else? No, that's it. So that's pretty much everything done. On to the main part of the video, which is where I'm going to get the question. Tweak station, here we are. As you can see, I will move the camera. It is pretty level, according to the spirit level. Now, my understanding is when you move the axle or the rear of the car is in the middle as much as I can. It might be very slightly out. So it is in the middle. It is level. Hence the spirit level. And you measure, I think, underneath here. But this is the tweak. I must admit, I'm not sure how to do this. Very manual. So when you push down, which I'll just quickly do that, it should come back. Should it not? You can see it doesn't. When I do the other side, it nearly comes, well, give or take a line, it comes back. This one, it doesn't, until I push this side. I mean, if you just tap it, it's the left side which is weaker. Now my understanding of that is adjusting that. It's a very small grub screw, so when you turn that, does it slightly preload the spring which is under here, which is a standard spring. I haven't changed it. There's one on the other side. Or could it be the damping in here that needs a readjusting? Because I think I've only done what I did back when I built the car. I've not done anything since. So the dampers on the side, they need adjusting. Or there's too many variants here. Are these pivot points tight? What should I be doing when I come to the tweaking of the car? It's definitely not quite right, because you know, if you press down on one side, it only comes up back. It doesn't go back to centre, unfortunately, and it's only a very light tweak. So doing that, I don't think that's right. It's not doing what it should do. The back, it does sort of recenter itself. So what is it? What do I need to do? Is it if I set it up wrong, or do I need to measure the ride heights under here, which is wrong anyway? So if I go this one, I know the bubble, there's a bubble in the middle, pretty much. Well, the bubble is in the middle, but we'll come along, that's just grabbing it there, that's 4.3. Okay, so we'll go through the other side. It just grabs it. Unless something's wrong. That's 5.8. I didn't realise I was probably moving the camera there, apologies, but it doesn't look that far out. And it's, yeah, I don't know, it's so delicate. There's obviously something, I reckon there's something tight. But anyway, there's not much I can do with that now. I mean, if you tell me how to do it, what I've got to do, not so much the measurements that I've given, but is it the springs under here? I know you don't want them under tension. Maybe one is. I did check them, didn't think they were. But anyway, let me just finish up. That's it. I've got tyre softener. I'll probably take it with me, but I know you can't really drive these on the track without the softener, but there might be softener in the carpet. Oh, I don't know, is it going to make a big difference? It probably will actually, so I will take my softener with me. I don't have a brush. I'm not sure if a brush is in there, but anyway, I always think of things out of the box. I'm unsure. I mean, to me, the right height looks good, but the droop looks horrendous. But I'm more concerned about the tweak of this. So that's got so much resistance there. And that feels the same. It doesn't feel tight or anything. So you can see if you give it a whack, like you hit a wall or car hits another car hard, how it can put everything out of sorts. If things are that delicate when setting up, as soon as you hit anything, it's gonna bollocks it up, isn't it? But anyway, that's it. That's where I'm at. So any advice given between now and next week, I'll try and implement. Any advice I pick up from the practice session, I'll do another video next week, leading up to my meeting, and then I'll sort of film where I can, when I can. I don't know. I'm not going to start speaking into the camera when I'm there. Pretty much know what I'm doing anyway. So I might do a little bit of filming just with not me talking, and then I'll over edit it later on. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Looking forward to tomorrow, because you know I don't have to. I'd like to have a go at a lap or two, just to sort of take it round. But I'm pretty nervous, if I'm honest. So I'm just checking these sort of, I don't know, tie rods, tie bars. There's no resistance there. So they're not under any strain. So any sort of advances on that tweak? Have I done it wrong? Have I got to do something else? No, let me know. But anyway, thanks again for watching. Appreciate your time, everyone's effort, everyone's feedback. These videos have got quite a lot of following, so I should really group them all together at some point on my channel. It seems to help. I might see how, because I seem to label them all differently. I might sort of the last video just put them all in the description if I can, if I get time. Right. Next stop, Eastbourne. There will be like I say, a video next week of perhaps my exploits there and the lead up to my meeting next week. Thank you very much again. Please like and subscribe. It is appreciated. Pass it on, spread the word. I'm only learning, so you know, there's many people out there that know an awful lot. And like I said, they've probably forgotten know more than I'll ever know. So I understand that. I've been involved in racing all my life. When new people come in and they start asking the basic questions, and you know what works, I know that kind of transition and how to sort of help people out without overcomplicating things. So anyway, that's it. I'll speak to you next week in my video before my meeting. Appreciate it, and goodbye for now.